I think this person gave the greatest speech, seeing it transform my public speaking and presentational skills. Yes, we can.
Oh, wow.
Really? This speech has been genuinely transformative for me. It's helped me to be going from feeling physically sick before presenting to even the smallest audience, to really enjoying presenting to any group. Almost every presentation I've given ever since has followed the principles I've learned from the speech. Why is it so good? Well, it's perfectly tailored for the audience, has the perfect, simple structure, and shows the power of passion and personality. The speech is perfectly tailored for the audience of the Nickelodeon Teen Choice Awards in 2014. The speech wouldn't have worked in a different award ceremony, like the Oscars, or maybe something.
And the winner is Ashton Kutcher for Killers and Valentine's Day.
The first thing to do with writing any presentation or speech is to think about the audience. Who are they? Who are? Think about the different groups of people you have in the room that you're presenting to, but also different audience groups that might see, hear, or get messages from the presentation afterwards. Once you've identified each of these different audience groups, think about what do you want them to think, feel, or do as a result of the presentation. And if you want them to do something, it's really important they think or feel something, or ideally both. Then take these different outcomes and distill it into a single, clear headline message. You can't just distill the purpose and key message of your speech into one or maybe two sentences. It's too complicated. That message is simply not going to land. Ashton's speech also had the perfect, simple structure. A hook, an introduction, 3 key parts, and an ending. It's as simple as that. This structure can work for any speech, whether it's 3 minutes like Ashton's, whether it's 30 minutes, whether it's an hour. If you watch Ashton's video in full, you can see actually when he first gets up on stage, he's not very coherent, he's not very clear, but he has thousands of teenage boys and girls screaming at him, and that can't be easy. Not that I would ever know. But once he delivers his opening hook, the whole tone of the room, the whole mood of the speech changes, and he clicks into gear. It really works to draw you in as an audience.
I feel like a fraud. My name is actually not even Ashton. Ashton is my middle name. My first name's Chris.
The moment he says, I feel a fraud, you're invested. You want to find out why is he a fraud. And then he says his name's not even Ashton. What? This is a great new fact. Makes his point and hooks you in. So you have to come up with a hook. In a presentation, in a speech, or a YouTube video. Find a way of, in 10 or 15 seconds, grabbing your audience's attention. A great fact.
I had no idea that we went to the same high school. We have a lot in common.
A short story. A joke.
What does Super Mario wear? I don't know. Denim.
Some way of reeling your audiences in and making sure they're ready for you to land the message that you want to land. After his opening hook, he's got the audience's attention, he then introduces his speech. He runs through the 3 key parts he's going to talk about.
So it's really 3 things. The first thing is about opportunity. The second thing is about being sexy. And the third thing is about living life.
That rule of 3 is so powerful. That rule of 3 acts is embedded in storytelling for centuries. The human brain has evolved to capture and remember stories, so using this simple structure is really powerful. It helps the audience follow along, helps the audience remember what you said, but also helps you remember what you say, making your speeches easier to learn and easier to deliver. So when you're writing your speech, take that key message that you want to communicate and think about how do you break that down into a 3-part or 3-act structure. Think about common ways to do that. The past, the present, the future. The before, the during, the after. The more the coherent, the 3-part structure you can get, the more powerful your storytelling, the more powerful your speech or presentation will become. A clear 3-part structure also makes your presentation much quicker to write. If it's a short presentation, I might just have 3 words on a post-it note. For a longer presentation, I'll structure it, I have my 3 key acts, and then bullet points underneath. For an even longer presentation, you might need to split one or all of those 3 acts into subsections. The 3-part structure also helps your delivery, making sure the audience knows where you are, where you come from, and where you're going. You can see Ashton count out his parts on his fingers. Also helps him remember where he is. And he's actually holding his relevant finger when he's in the relevant section of his speech, giving him a physical prompt of what he needs to say, and a physical reminder of what is coming next. These 3 acts, these 3 key parts are the foundation stones of your speech. And if you're starting to get lost in a particular section, you have that guiding light of that next key part to come that will bring you back on track and get that delivery really, really smooth. And finally, the speech is full of personality and passion. I've never met Ashton Kutcher, so I've got no idea if he's really charismatic, if he's really relaxed. But it doesn't matter, because you can inject personality and passion into your speech, even if you're not that practiced, even if you're not that polished. Think about the stories, even if really short, you can tell to introduce yourself, show your personality, make sure the speech comes across authentic. Ashton talks about stories before he was famous, the different jobs he has, and he used these to make a really clear point.
When I was 13, I had my first job with my dad carrying shingles up to the roof. And then I got a job washing dishes at a restaurant. And then I got a job in a grocery store deli. And then I got a job in a factory sweeping Cheerio dust off the ground. And I've never had a job in my life that I was better than. I was always just lucky to have a job. And every job I had was a stepping stone to my next job. And I never quit my job until I had my next job.
A really powerful message for his audience, the teenagers in the room. And he's really passionate about the message he's trying to deliver. That passion comes through in his delivery. He's not afraid to show how important this is. He's not afraid to show that passion coming through in his speech. That's what really makes this work. And he finishes that with a really strong ending, goes through his 3 points again, gives a key call to action, and then walks on.
So build a life. Don't live one, build one. Find your opportunities and always be sexy. I love you guys.
Make sure your speech finishes with an ending and use that to bring out the passionate message that you want to deliver. So it really is as simple as that. Tailoring your speech for the audience, think about the key message that you want to deliver to them. Start with the opening hook, then move into your 3-part structure. And then finally, make sure you bring your passion and personality into your speeches. And these can transform your presentations and your speeches in the same way it has done mine. If you're interested, I'd really recommend you watch Ashton's full speech here. It's only 3 or 4 minutes long, and it will transform your life.